Onboarding new employee benefits plan data is a challenge for companies. That's because the bidirectional data feeds that need to be put into place to connect your new clients into your digital ecosystem are complicated. Data must securely flow back and forth between you and your customers in order to get them up and running, and it can take weeks to make it work. What if you could do this 80% faster? My name is Joe Dupree and I work for Adeptia. Later in this video, Raman Singh will join us and show us some product demo highlights. But before we get to all that, let's take a closer look at how companies have reached a point where onboarding has become such a vital area for improvement. What was your last experience like at your Department of Motor Vehicles, your DMV? If it was anything like mine, you experienced lots of waiting. There's a process that the DMV has to go through, and it involves making customers wait in line. But it's for the customer's benefit, right? Onboarding customer data feeds can be painstakingly difficult. It's complex, it's expensive, it's time-consuming. But in the case of employee benefits plans, it has to be done perfectly. That's why many have just accepted that in order to get high-quality results, it's going to have to take a long time. Every time a new customer is brought in, it's a celebration, of course, but it's also another onboarding project. All the excitement and momentum of a new customer is lost to weeks or sometimes even months of painful data integration onboarding. Meanwhile, the revenue is on hold and customers wait for value. But it's a process that you just have to go through, right? It's part of the cost of doing business in the digital age. Well, maybe not. Companies that onboard corporate clients using integration platforms are difficult to do business with. The same old processes need to be followed for each new client. And everyone has to wait in line to be onboarded using expensive, high-skilled IT experts. Data maps, code, and scripts have to be written and customized, followed by lots of manual testing. Your IT team is on the critical path to make each customer onboarding happen. Now, of course, you didn't create this onboarding process overnight. It evolved over a long period of time using integration tools that have evolved over a long period of time. And everybody is working really hard and progress is happening every day, but that progress is on the backs of expensive IT resources who use integration tools that are far too complex for business users. What if you could reimagine customer data integration? Would your IT team use APIs instead of EDI, or JSON instead of XML, or AS2 instead of FTP? Would any of these incremental tech gains make it go faster? Probably not much faster. Could you leapfrog beyond all these small incremental gains and reimagine how your customer data ecosystem would work if you weren't encumbered by all these acronyms and underlying technologies? If you could truly reimagine customer data integration, you would make it much faster for your customers and business users to accomplish the onboarding. You wouldn't have them waiting on IT. You might still have IT people involved, but just to ensure data governance. So instead of DMV, you'd make it much more like buying stuff on Amazon. Well, that's where Adeptia can help. Companies choose Adeptia because they want to be easier to do business with. They want to make a much better first impression with their new customers. They want to help those customers speed to value. And they want to better collaborate among customers, business users, and IT. The team of data integration experts at Adeptia have been simplifying and breaking down the barriers of customer data integration onboarding for many years. They found ways to abstract away the complexities of data integration into a business application that empowers non-techie users to get the job done with self-service. The hard work of integration is still happening, of course, but the details of your business and customer-specific XML, data formats, databases, HR systems, spreadsheets, APIs, data transfer, access methods, exception handling, all these things are taken care of in a manner aided by machine learning so that your business users don't have to deal with them or wait for IT experts to do custom coding and scripting. With Adeptia, your business users can make new customer connections, monitor transactions and workflows, manage exceptions, and grow customer relationships. Your IT team is still involved, But instead of being on the critical path to day-to-day new customer implementation, they serve in a governance role. All of your teams are more productive, and your customers get faster results. And not only does Adeptia enable you to empower your business users, Adeptia enables you to empower your customers' business users, no matter how technical they are. This approach can speed business processes that involve the integration of data feeds to and from your customers. Adeptia believes that connecting customers should not just be simple and fast. It should reflect on the very best that your brand can offer, an impressive introduction that marks the start of a new relationship. A relationship that your customers will be delighted by and want to expand upon. This new customer connection represents an irreplaceable opportunity for you to welcome them into your family. You're not alone. Many companies face difficult challenges while onboarding customer data feeds. Adeptia has been helping mid and large companies implement customer data onboarding solutions in the domain of employer benefits plans, defined contribution plans, payroll, and other mission-critical data integration onboarding use cases. Adeptia has accelerated the speed of onboarding by up to 80% while making it easy for non-techie business users. Many of these implementations have incredibly large-scale production environments, handling massively high volumes of data. This functional map of a healthcare insurance business may help you see a few places where Adeptia's self-service integration can make your business more adept. Whether you're a healthcare insurer or you're within the larger business ecosystem of employee benefits plans and administration, look for integration points that span company boundaries or integration points that often see business users waiting for IT. Adeptia software will work with your existing tech stack, whether you're on-prem or in the cloud, and it'll provide the self-service approach that you need to empower business users and speed business processes. This video specifically addresses the use case where the data feeds are between insurers and employers, as well as in some cases, third-party administrators, where there's lots of manual steps and account setup as well as ongoing account maintenance of things such as employee lifecycle events and enrollment period plan changes. Adeptia dramatically improves productivity for business, customer, and IT users. And so now I'm going to turn the presentation over to Raman Singh for a brief demo.
Thank you, Joe, for the overview. And as part of this demo, we'll focus on the business user role. In this case, suppose there is a company called Healthosity that provides healthcare benefit plans to its customers and partners. And suppose Maple is a new customer that has chosen Healthosity to provision its employees healthcare plans. And in order to achieve those steps, we have Sarah, who is a business user, and she can provision new customer within Healthosity's customer network. So let's say Maple will be added as a new customer within Healthosity. We'll show you how that is achieved. We will also show you how these new data feeds can be provisioned. So these data feeds could be in different formats that the customers are sending. So we'll show you how easily those data feeds can be configured by a business user. And then if there are any issues with the data, we'll also show you those dashboards where errors can be fixed, as well as business users can look at the status of those data feeds. So let's get started. So here I have logged in as Sarah, and as part of the first step of provisioning new customer within Healthosity's customer network, Sarah goes to Partner Management Console. In this example, we will use Plan Sponsor as the name of the network where this new customer will be organized under. So here, the idea is that once a customer is added, you can actually group them based on the different networks. And networks are basically different portfolio of companies that your business teams can manage. So these could be portfolios or networks that belong to different type of services that Healthosity is providing, or it could be based on different types of data that is being exchanged between the customer and Healthosity. So different ways of how you can use networks in order to manage these customer profiles. So let's go back to the Partner Management Console. In this example, we'll show you how a new customer is added. So here I have clicked on Add New Partner. And then we can enter the name of the new customer, in this case, Maple. We can select the particular network that this particular customer will belong to. So in this case, plan sponsors. And then we can also email a customer user so that they can log into the Healthosity Connect platform, be able to do some of the self-service work. And we'll show that to you in later videos. So here, once a customer is provisioned, you will notice that I already have created this customer here called Maple. And then in this example, let's suppose we want to configure a new data feed. In order to achieve that particular objective of configuring these data transactions, what Sarah does is she goes to the Maple customer profile and she clicks on templates. Templates are predefined transactions that the IT team has already built for the business teams to utilize, so that the purpose of showing you these list of templates is that the business teams can simply click on a specific template or these predefined transactions to onboard the healthcare related data from, let's say, any new customer. So for example, I can click on the 834 files template to pull in the enrollment plans from Maple. Once you use a template to define your transactions, those transactions are then shown within that particular customer profile. So if I go back and let's suppose I have used this template to define my data feed in terms of onboarding the enrollment plans, those data feeds can now be shown if we go back to this particular customer profile under the transaction page. So using those templates, we can build these data transactions, and then you can manage those data transactions as part of the customer's profile. So for example, within the Maple customer, I have 4 transactions. In this case, I'm pulling in dental and vision plans that the employees are selecting within Maple. And then there are other type of data feeds related to different other plans or services that Healthosity is providing to Maple. So for example, if you want to click on the employee dental and vision plan enrollments, we can click on the run history to see all the data that we have received from Maple. So the idea of showing you this example is that we can look at the status of these data feeds, be able to look at any errors, and be able to respond to those errors. So for example, if you look at the status here, the enrollment of dental plans from Maple are being provisioned within Healthosity, and those details of that data feeds can be seen here. So end-to-end transaction logs are shown here to the end user. One of the other things that we also provide is a very high-level data trend so that the business teams within Healthosity can see what data that are being sent by these different customers, what are their statuses, etc. So for example, we are showing you the runtime trend. So this shows you the number of transactions, which customer is sending you what type of data. And then we also have a further drill down of that specific information here in terms of the inbound versus outbound. So sometimes you not only are receiving enrollments, but also you're sending acknowledgments or changes to those plans back to the customer in terms of acknowledgments or confirmations. So these bidirectional data flows require a very easy single pane of glass view of these different data trends or these different data runs. And the operations team really take advantage of these types of dashboards to understand the status of those data trends or these data feeds. So for example, you will notice that Maple has sent us multiple data feeds. We can also go in and look at the different errors or success of these different transactions. And if there are any errors, we can click on those links here, and we can also see what caused these different errors. So these errors could be both semantic as well as syntax related. So for example, I can click here, I can go into the specific error, and we can see, okay, we received the data, but there were some issues in terms of the data that is being integrated into the backend system. So we show status, cause, and fix so that the users can fix and resubmit those corrections. One of the other things that we also do is that we show errors related to any business rules. So for example, missing fields, or it could be a field that is invalid because a certain rule has checked the value of that data and identified it as an error. So those business-related edit exceptions are shown to the end users within Healthosity, in this case, the business teams, as part of this interface. And we can configure any type of custom interface to show errors as well as data values and be able to have the business teams interact with that data. So for example, we have 5 records, 2 of them failed, and then we can show in a visual way which record failed and what is the data that is missing. And here the other feature that we also provide is for the user to actually fix the data. So you can enter data here and then be able to submit that record or that entire record set. So again, very easy way to manage customer data feeds and be able to see the status as well as handle errors. I hope this was a useful demo of the application. As a summary, we showed you how customers are provisioned within the Adeptia application. So in this case, we used Healthosity, which is using the Adeptia Connect application to provision their customers within their networks. And they're allowing the business teams to manage these data feeds and provision these data feeds. So that's one of the key goal of this particular demo. Joe, please take it over. Thank you.
Thank you, Raman. The Adeptia team includes hundreds of years of experience in integration, both with teams in the US and in India. They're on a mission to make integration easy and accessible for business users. Adeptia has had record growth over each of the past 6 years. Adeptia speeds the onboarding of employee benefits plans by up to 80%, thereby making companies that offer such plans to be much easier to do business with. Adeptia has been favorably covered by Gartner and Forrester over the past decade, appearing in numerous Magic Quadrant and Wave charts. To learn more about how Adeptia can help you speed onboarding of employee benefits plans, visit adeptia.com. Learn how you can put the power of Adeptia self-service integration to work for your company.